On the lonely mountain top, the Princess Psyche sat on a rock where a golden palace had once stood. It was here that an old friend, Zephyr the West Wind, found her. My lady. Hello, Zephyr. Once you brought me to this happy place, but I ruined everything. Don't cry, my girl. All is not lost. What will I do? Eros has left me. How could I ever win him back? Didn't you ever wonder why he kept himself a secret from you? He is a god, and I'm a mortal. It's obvious now. That may be a part of it, but remember, his goddess mother Aphrodite. He was protecting you from her. She sent him to ruin you, you know, but because of his love, he could not. I didn't know. You let me carry you before. Allow me to once again. Let me take you to her. To Aphrodite? Who else? Plead your case to her. Grovel at her feet. She's so vain. All you have to do is flatter her a bit. Will she let me see her son? If we succeed, it'll be none like this ever happened. Oh, thank you, Zephyr. It's nothing. I can stand to see a beautiful maiden cry. Now come. I'm a mess. I can't go before a goddess looking like this. Trust me, the worse you look, the better. She clung tightly to Zephyr, and he carried her high into the clouds. Are mortals allowed at Mount Olympus? Some. Just watch her step. The Olympians are a nasty bunch. Amid the clouds, there appeared a mountain, colonnades and glittering buildings wrapped around it. Zephyr carried Psyche toward the palace and sat her down within a hanging garden. Stay here. I'll go before you and announce you. No sooner had Zephyr left than he flew back into the sight, his face white with fear. Good gracious! I've never seen such a fiery temper. She's infuriated that I've brought you here, but she said she'll see you. Good luck. Thank you. Psyche took a deep breath. The most fearsome mother-in-law heaven and earth had ever seen was waiting for her at the other end of the hallway.
Come in, mortal! Don't dilly-dally.
Aphrodite's chamber was all softness and pinks. The goddess eyed Psyche coldly.
Oh, so have you come to grovel?
Yes, your majesty. The goddess paused.
I'm waiting.
Psyche sank to the floor. O immortal creator of love and beauty, I come to beg your pardon.
I should think so, you little tramp, taking advantage of my darling boy like that, using your beauty to lure him in. I know your little game. I invented it.
Forgive me, your majesty.
Why should I? You nearly killed him with that nurseburn. Right now he has taken to bed, sick from the wound you gave him. He may not survive.
What? I didn't mean to.
Silence! And keep groveling until I tell you to stop.
I'll do any.
Did I say you could speak? Now, I have devised 3 tasks. If you complete these 3 tasks, I will consider forgiving you. They are dangerous tasks, and ones of great importance. If you fail at any, you will never see my son again. Do you accept this task? Why do you not answer?
You told me not to.
Don't be stupid. Of course I want you to answer.
I accept.
Marvelous. Why not begin immediately? Rise, you have work to do.
The goddess of love gleefully clapped her hands. There was a flash of light. The 2 goddess and girl were no longer on Mount Olympus, but on a barren plain.
Here is your task.
An enormous pile of seeds lay at Psyche's feet.
Within the sieve is every kind of seeds, flax, wheat, poppy, and millet, and cinnamon. I mix them all up. I will return at nightfall, and by the time I return, you must have sorted all these seeds into separated piles. Not even one may be misplaced.
But this is impossible.
My, you are a smart one. Well, you better get started. Farewell! Ha ha ha!
Several hours later, Psyche had managed to separate a small pile of black seeds from the mix. Her back ached, her eyes burned, tiny seeds continued to fall through her fingers. She could already hear Aphrodite laughing. "Oh, Eros, why did I doubt you?" As Psyche continued to speak, she noticed a new color of seed in the pile below her. Tiny black seeds she hadn't seen before. Had this been here the whole time? Wait, they're moving. Moving seeds? And indeed, it seemed like 1,000 specks had come to life within the pile. Perched upon the very top of the pile stood a single speck. It began to speak to her.
Handsome maiden, the west wind has told us of your misfortune, and we ants have come to help.
Sure enough, the specks were ants and an army of them, industriously carrying seed after seed from the mound. Thank you! What did I do to deserve your help?
You do this task out of love, and there is no greater cause.
The goddess will return at nightfall. Will you be done by then?
Of course, my dear. We ants never take a break. We love to work. It's our function.
Returning the ant queen to her hill of workers, Psyche watched in wonder as the pile slowly shrank into many smaller mounds. The sun was setting as the final loads were carried to their appropriate destination.
Our day work is done.
I'll never forget this. Today, the little ones accomplished something that a giant creature never could have.
You've learned your lesson well then. Good luck, Princess Psyche.
Once on the ground, the queen led her victorious troops away, singing an ant song of victory. When Aphrodite returned, she was not pleased.
Impossible! You couldn't have done this on your own.
I didn't claim to. The smallest creatures of the world have helped me. You never said I couldn't get help.
So, that's your game, is it? Well, Missy, the next tutas will be so tough, they'll make your head spin.
I am ready. Bring them on.
Huh?
A mist formed around the goddess and the girl, and it's cold. Gray fingers grasped Psyche. She felt herself being pulled away through the air. When the swirl subsided, she was standing on the edge of a swift stream. On the opposite hill, a herd of shiny sheep were grazing.
My task is a simple one. See those sheep there? I desire some of their wool. Fetch some for me.
Is that it?
Cross my heart.
Very well. Psyche pulled up the hem of her tunic and forded the stream. The golden sheep continued to graze. Unconcerned by her approach, searching for some sign of trap, Psyche continued forward. The nearest sheep paid no attention to her. She reached forward to grasp its wool. The sheep spun toward her and bared its razor-sharp teeth. She barely snatched her hand back in time to avoid its jaws. Ah! Once safely back across the stream, Psyche noticed the bones laying white among the tall grasses.
Oh, did I fail to mention that those are man-eating sheep? Ha 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 ha.
You!
Try not to jump, my G. It would be quite embarrassing to be killed by such cuddly creatures.
Left to her task, Psyche tried to clear her mind, keeping a careful eye on the sheep. She knelt by the stream and dipped a full drink of water. Don't do it! Who had spoken? Surely not the sheep. Hello? Don't do it! You can still beat her. Whatever you do, don't drown yourself. It'll solve nothing. I wasn't going to. I was just going to get a drink. Well, that's a relief. I've seen plenty of fools try to get some of their golden wool. They either get their neck bit through or give up and kill themselves right here in the stream out of shame. It's so dramatic. Where are you? I'm here, right beside you. Near her face, a reed was swaying slightly in the breeze. No, you're not imagining it. A reed is talking to you. Well, You may not believe this, but it's not the strangest things that happened to me today. Since you're not going to kill yourself, let me give you some more advice. I don't usually do this, but I'll tell you how to get some of the golden rule. But first, you had to promise not to tell anyone where you got it. No problem. The last thing I want is 1,000 people drifting around on my back and drowning themselves in the shallows. One dead body can stink this place up for weeks. That's some mean mutton over there. They can skeletize a grown man in 60 seconds. What you do is you wait for the sheep to come down for their daily drink. You know sheep? They have one brain within the whole flock. When they come to the water, their fleece gets caught on those briars over there. Wait until they're gone, grab it and you're good. I never would have thought of that. That's brilliant. I am the only talking reed for a reason. Psyche waited for the flock to drink, and after they had gone, 1,000 tiny tufts were left in the riverside brambles. The girl collected this quickly. Thanks, Reed. I'll never forget this. Aphrodite! Aphrodite! I have completed all your tasks. The atmosphere crackled and the goddess appeared. Psyche stretched out hands filled with golden plums.
Fool, this is not about fleece or seeds or love. This is about you and me. I will destroy you if it's the last thing I do. You will never have my son again.
Aphrodite ripped the riverside reed up by its top, snapped it in half and threw it to the ground.
Ha! That reed has talk its last. Now, for your final task. I'm sending you to a place where no one would dare help you. Follow this stream. It runs for many miles. When you reach the mountains, it flows into a cave. The cave leads down into the underworld.
Hades?
If you truly love my son, you will go into the underworld as I asked. You will go to my niece Persephone, Queen of Hades herself. Take this box to her.
An ornately carved box appeared in Psyche's hand. What is this for?
Command Persephone to take some of her beauty and place it into his. Command Persephone to take some of her beauty and place it into this box. Then return it to me.
Then, will you allow me to see your son?
I swear it by sticks.
How do I even get into Hades?
There is only one surefire route into Hades, my dear. Suicide. Don't rule it out just yet.
Psyche felt her feet start their weary plod. Times passed. Before her now was the black pool. A cave behind it lead into nothingness. Psyche lowered herself into the pool, numbing cold. A stir of wind caught her hair and caused her to turn. Floating on the black water of the pool was a cake, and baked into its tender crust a small coin. Zephyr, you are my true friend. It cannot be told how terrifying and deep the land of Hades runs. As the light of the world disappeared, a new light appeared, a sickly light, the light of the grave, and it drew Psyche ever downward on a doomed path. Cerberus! The three-headed guard dog of Hades lurked just ahead on the path. Prying loose the coin, Psyche took the cake into her hand. I hope this works. Psyche stepped forward, three heads lifting, three pairs of lowered eyes. Psyche stepped forward, three heads lifted, three pairs of glowing eyes and gaping jaw. Before the beast could move to rip her apart, Psyche threw the cake. Cerberus darted after it, and Psyche dashed by. A dark river came next, flat and motionless. Wraiths stood along the bank, waiting. Psyche took the coin and placed it beneath her tongue. The shallow craft of Charon was moored on the bank before her, and the boatman himself stood inside it, leaning on his pole. Life has passed the gates of death. Tell me, foolish maiden, what do you seek below, and for what purpose? I seek Death and his queen for love. Then I shall ferry you, provided you can pay the price. Her mouth opened. His sandy fingers found the toll there. As she climbed aboard, Charon pulled the craft away from the shore. The boat did not dip nor bob. It floated on nothing. With a thud, it hit the other side. I am the only way across this river, and you have given me your only coin. You are lost. Psyche turned her back on those words. Ahead, a black palace had clawed its way out of the rock. 1,000 cobwebs whispered surrounded her, and flew before her, announcing the mortal maiden to the king. Then she came at last to stand before Hades and Persephone, the lord and the lady of death. Love, love has brought me here. Love? Love has no place among the dead. Here, love is dried up. I have brought it here with me. I snuck it in my heart. You are mistaken. Anything that passes the gates of death is dead. Love was alive when you came, but now it is dead. You were alive when you came, but now you are dead. Under the stony glance of Hades, Psyche felt her soul weakening. She turned frantically to face the stone-like Persephone. Please, my queen, help me. Give me some of your beauty. Surely, your heart hasn't been frozen completely by this place. Some love must still live there. Do not trouble yourself with her. Her heart is also dead. Please! You were once young. You were once in love. Remember it now. Remember the spring. Forget this wintry place, only for a moment. The eyes of Persephone remained unchanged. I am tired of your whining. She will give you none of her beauty. At that moment, the hand of the queen, a hand that seemed as if it had been carved into her lap, suddenly raised.
Please, husband, I believe she was speaking to me instead of you.
What?
Girl, I will grant this request, but only for love. Take this beauty. I hope it will bring you more happiness than me. Now go, before death.
The pale light of the underworld faded, and Psyche felt her body warm. She was lying on the banks of the black pool once again. I can't believe it. Only the great heroes have visited the underworld and lived to tell about it. Aphrodite's box lay near her. The beauty. I must make sure it's really there. If I give Aphrodite a box full of air, I'll never see Eros again. With trembling fingers, she began to inch the lid of her treasure open. Just a peek. That's all I need. Then I'll be sure. A shriek escaped the box. The beauty freed from its prison. Psyche slammed down the lid as quickly as she could, but she was too late. It had already gone. Psyche fell defeated to the ground. Psyche! Psyche! Psyche opened her eyes to a handsome face. Psyche! Come back to me! It was Eros. He was actually cradling her in his arms. I tried so hard. You succeeded. You did it. You showed how much you truly loved me. Oh, Psyche, I know you did. But I failed. To beauty, I opened the box. Forget that. You did something much greater. But Aphrodite, your mother, forget her. I was foolish to hide you away, and you've had to pay the price. But I'm going to make it all up to you, starting now. How? The love god lifted her higher and higher through the clouds. Soon, she saw that they were in the hearing hall of Olympus. High on his throne sat Zeus himself. Zeus, I've come to ask your help. In my arms, I hold the woman I love. I see that. But oh Zeus, she is immortal, and I'm a god. My mother would never agree to our marriage. Fooling around with a mortal is one thing, but marriage, it's most unusual. A pink poof appeared in the midst of the proceedings.
Never! Never! Never!
Zeus angrily waved Aphrodite's fluorescent fumes away from his face. I take it that you disapprove of this marriage, sister?
Of course I do. This selfish horse has gone against his mother's wishes, and has fallen in love with a mortal. Who has ever heard of something so disgusting?
Well, I have for one. Perhaps you have forgotten that I have had a few affairs with Earth women.
Well, That's different. You're Zeus.
And, let's see, it's rumored that even you, Aphrodite, have been known to go slumming with the mortals.
What? I never!
Really? What about a man named Anchises or a boy named Adonis? Do these names ring a bell?
I was young and stupid. Who hasn't made a few mistakes?
My point exactly.
The fact remains a mortal cannot marry a god.
Precisely right, Aphrodite. A mortal cannot marry a god. Precisely right, Aphrodite. A mortal cannot marry a god.
I knew you'd see it my way.
That is why I'll just have to make Psyche a goddess.
What?
The two young lovers leaped at this pronouncement. Thank you, Zeus! Oh, thank you! I shall